This is SALT, our School of Accountable Living, Timing and Earning, a place where we talk about life. Greetings once again from our SALT, our School of Accountable Living, Timing and Earning, our own home. We learn life. We learn living, daily living. It's a place we talk about the home, the family, the community, faith in myself, faith in my neighbors, faith in who we are before we talk about faith in God. Today, flowing from our previous video on the values of a cooperative, we are bringing forth today the principles of cooperative. Every cooperative that operates by these principles would have a fair, longer standing, have higher probability to survive any situations than those that choose to go it other ways. The first of these principles is that of voluntary membership, free and voluntary membership. Every individual on earth should be able to choose whether he or she wants to join a cooperative or not. Whatever cooperative we're talking about here. If you're coming in order to gain economic advantages, fine. Let the decision to join be made by you, not because someone is threatening to cripple your own business if you do not join his cooperative. Let it be more like, okay, I'm joining because I'll be able to get loans, get facilities, I'll be able to do this. Okay, and I have my responsibilities too. We'll talk about that. But first thing first, free and voluntary membership. And the day I want to leave, I should equally be able to leave. The next in these principles, we mentioned it in the core values, democratic control. In the core values, we simply mentioned that I should be able to have a vote. Likewise, every other member of our cooperative. And my vote should count to the extent that I show responsibility towards that cooperative. My vote is separated from my cumulative commitment in terms of finance. For contributing more, I may not rule it over others. Others will still have their say in terms of what kind of cooperative we want to run. Is it a thrift or a multipurpose? Or are we looking at just an end of year thing? Now, democratic control means if you're available, you should be allowed to vote. In major decisions, choose our leaders, choose the kind of businesses we tell them to do for us, but you will not micromanage how they do it. So they are going to do it and come back and give us account what they were able to do, the resources we committed into their hands. Number 3, we talk about the principle of economic participation. Every member is free to participate in the economy of his or her cooperative. Here we say, instead of shareholders sharing the profits accumulating to a cooperative, the members of a cooperative are sharing it. You know the difference between the shareholders of a corporation and the shareholders of a cooperative. So I should be part of the daily, monthly, yearly activities and responsibilities that involve the finances, the financial standing of my cooperative. Here we talk about members' economic participation. Should be free. Number 4, we are talking about autonomy. Every cooperative is autonomous. I know of one church that talks about autonomy of local congregations, where you do not have a center, a headquarters, where a national overseer or international overseer rules the decisions of that church. But every local congregation have their bishops, their their elders managing the affairs of that. That's the Church of Christ. Now, in a cooperative, every cooperative is supposed to have, under the law, like in Nigeria, we have the Cooperative Societies Act 2004 as amended. That law empowers that every cooperative should make their own bylaws and be able to govern themselves. That tells you you are autonomous. Another cooperative cannot rule over you, cannot tell you what kind of business to go into, what kind of government to run. So democracy and participation, and there's a economic participation of the members, and then autonomy autonomy of the entire group, that we are not sub to any, but there is room to cooperate with other cooperatives. And that's why the Cooperative Societies Act 2004, as amended, provides for the formation of secondary and tertiary cooperatives. Every one of us as as cooperators, we start as primary cooperatives. Then there are state level cooperatives, we've got secondary, and then the national level tertiary. We have the NFAN and the CFAN. You know, the body of all cooperatives in Nigeria, the body of all cooperatives in Enugu, the body of all cooperatives in Lagos, the body of all cooperatives in Abia. And that's the next thing we're talking about. The number 5 of these principles, the principle of cooperation. I must cooperate with others because every cooperative has a comparative advantage when you compare it to others. Those into agriculture will have cooperative advantage in agriculture compared to those in trade and commerce, or that, you know, those that engage in buying and selling. So when you come to cooperation, you will have an advantage in cooperating with other cooperatives when you have a good internal system. But when you are not organized locally as a cooperative, every other person, every other cooperative group that are organized would bring their own values and overwhelm you. They will overshadow you, and you will not make much profit out of relating with them. Now, finally, okay, not finally, actually, we are looking at 2 more principles. You know, we've talked about cooperative among cooperatives, cooperation among cooperatives. We must relate, we must cooperate with others. There is something we call education, training, and information in cooperatives. Yes, it is not emphasized in Nigeria, but we need it. Every cooperative need from time to time to bring in the experts, the men in the ministry, that ministry and that department of cooperatives, to come tell us what's new, what's the government policy going in our favor or against us. Tell us what are the new things we can do and we cannot do, having been registered under this act. These men exercise there every day, every night. So to not to run foul of the law, we should train and retrain ourselves. And then to remain economically viable, we should get other experts. Health experts should come and talk to us about good living, healthy living. You need to stay alive in order to eat your money. Then some other experts in agriculture will tell us how we can improve on what we are already profiting from. Other business experts, people in real estate, can tell us how we can lay aside something and make the most of a business environment that we do not naturally normally. When you are average income earners, you might not have the bulk money to buy a building, but you can see 50, 100 persons contribute the little they can without stressing their finances, and they have a building, and they are a cooperative. Now, someone specializing in real estate can come in to tell us this. That's called education. Education, like we say in SALT, we are a school of accountable living, timing, and ending. We learn all through life, and we learn about life and living. So, training, education, information sharing, and utilization are key to the survival, to the improvement, to the excellence of every and any cooperative society at all. And finally, we talk about community. If my community, Transekulu, would hear salt and they are asking, what is that? There's work for me to do. I need to do more work, not just profiting, but first of all, we must make profit, make enough. And then we should let there be a rub off of that profit on my local community. If the place where I have a farm in the village in Ebonyi State or in Enugu East, if they do not see the impact of this cooperative, you will tell them salt, and they're asking, what is that? You've not made yourself known to your environment. But when you have made yourself known to the point that someone will say, those criminals, then you are doing something in the community that might be injurious to another person. Says those exploitative people, there's something you're doing that's hurting some other person. If someone says salt and he says, wow, I know those people, Val and his team, and he tells you one or two things that he thinks he's okay with about the corporate, then there's something you have started doing well and you should improve on. That's the seven principles of cooperative operations, existence and operation is what I've enumerated here now. The first thing is free and voluntary membership. The next, we talked about democracy. It must be democratic. The way we choose our leaders and the way we choose the kind of business to go into. You understand? No one should pull me into a place and then push our money into a gambling or a drug dealing or any crime. Now, we talk about the cooperative. I must have free space to participate in the economy of that cooperative. And equally, the cooperative must be autonomous. We must make our decisions and stand by it. After making our decisions, you know that the quality of our decisions depend on the quality of our information and knowledge. So we must train, educate, and inform ourselves on the way we are going and resources available. Now, after that, we must cooperate with other cooperatives. And finally, we must relate well, positively with our local communities. Thank you very much. See more of you as we discuss in the next video on things we've done and way forward doing more. Thank you very much.